Hello, Donegal teachers. My name is Megan Hull-Burg, and I am your instructional technology coach. I'm here to give you the down and dirty on Schoology. So we use Schoology for teachers K through 12, but our students only use Schoology from 3 through 12. It doesn't matter if you are a primary school teacher, you will still be interacting with Schoology. So there's some really good information in here for you to know as well, okay? Let's jump in. When you come into Schoology, you are going to land on your recent activity page. This is going to pull in any updates that have been posted only in the groups and courses that you are a part of. When you click on the courses tab up here, it is going to pull up your most recent courses. You'll notice that there's a limit to how many it shows. And you'll want to know that there's this little button over here that says My Courses. This is going to give you a couple options that you need to remember. So when you click on My Courses, it opens up this page, and you have the option to reorder your courses. So if at any point you would like them to be in a different order, you can simply drag, drop, click the X, and now when I click on courses, they've been rearranged. That's good to know. The other thing that's good to know is that your courses are not deleted at the end of the school year or at the end of the semester. They're always archived. So you can come into My Courses and click on that button, click on Archived. If there's a resource that you left in here, or if a student is still finishing something up, just know that you can still access your courses from here. Let's talk about what is involved in an actual course. So let me choose my book creator course. When you open up a course, you'll notice that you have the ability to edit that picture. You will want to do that so that it's easy for your students to find when they also click on their My Courses dropdown. I have centered my titles so that they show up correctly like this, okay? So just know that it might take a little bit of getting used to. It's completely up to you how you make those pictures. I use bookmarks in Canva to make mine long like that, okay? You also have the option to create banners. These are just clickable for your students. So they're kind of those things that you ask them to use a lot. For example, if you have a textbook, you might be asking them to use, you might want to link something like that up there, okay? Let's talk about adding material. So when you're ready to add information to your course, you want to make sure that students have this information available to them. So if they're absent, or if you want them to do things digitally, or if it's an every other day course and you just want to make sure that they can access things on a regular basis, you can click on Add Materials to add folders. I recommend doing this by week or by unit, okay? So you're going to add folders. Know that when you add something, let's do an example here, and I select Create, it is going to add it to the very bottom of my course. Now that I have added it, let's say you're working on adding something to your course, but you're not ready for your students to see it yet. You can unpublish that. So when it's unpublished, you can see it, you can add to it, you can work on it, but your students aren't going to see it yet. One thing that I want to point out under course options is that you do have the option to click View Course As. So you could do this as one of your students just to see, I've made some changes to my course, but I want to see what it looks like for them. And notice that my new folder is not down here because I had unpublished it, okay? So you do have the option to view course as a student. Let's talk about adding some other things. So within my new folder, the first thing that we're going to take a look at is adding an assignment. It's really important that you become familiar with adding assignments because it's going to make your life a lot easier, okay? When you click Add Assignment and you are asking your students to complete a project, write a paper, create a slideshow, anything like that, you'll want to create a template for that. Whether that template is something from Kami, you have the option to assign things from Kami, or it's from something that you have saved in your Google Drive, okay? So let's say you want them to write a paper. What I recommend is making a template that says, here are the directions, here's the formatting, MLA, whatever it is you're asking them to do. And then you're just assuming that under that, they're going to start doing their writing, okay? So you come in here, this is their essay assignment. You're going to add the instructions in here so that they can read them. And then you're going to click Google Drive Assignments, and then you're going to click that template that you want. The first time you do this, it is going to ask you to sign in with your Google Drive. You're going to use your Donegal School District credentials, but it's only going to ask you to do that the first time, okay? So now you'll be able to add anything you want them to work on, click Attach, and then it tells you this will create a copy of your file for each student. What does this do? It saves you a lot of time. So instead of saying, hey, students, start a new Google Doc, write your essay, then share it with me, which who knows if they're going to share it correctly? Who knows if they're going to share it at all? And then you're wondering if they're working on their assignment or not. If you do it this way in Schoology, as soon as the student goes in and clicks on this the very first time, it creates a copy for them that's already shared with you. And now it's organized within Schoology, and you'll be able to keep track of their progress, and you'll be able to give them feedback right within Schoology and give them a grade. Trust me, do it this way. It's going to make your life a lot easier. You're going to want to give it a due date. You're going to need to assign a category, and then you're going to click Create. Okay, so that's what our unpublished assignment looks like. I would also highly recommend adding assessments in Schoology. So if you are doing short quizzes, if you're going to do your full exams in here, I highly recommend taking the time to put in those questions. I know it can be time consuming, but if you do this, it's going to save you a lot of time in printing. It's going to save you a lot of time in grading, especially if you've got multiple choice questions. And you can work on this throughout the school year, add a quiz, add a test here or there. And then, after a year or two, you'll have a lot of exams in here that auto grade. And the cool thing is, once you have those assessments in there, you can then use the grade book. So once you have assignments in there and you've got grades in here, you'll be able to click the sync button, and it will transfer your grades from Schoology into PowerSchool, saving you all of that time from having to transfer those grades manually or type grades in manually yourself. Okay, so I highly recommend that. The other thing that I want to talk about with materials is discussion pages. So when you add a discussion page, and I highly recommend that you do, it's great for practice. This is something that students should learn to be a part of, right? We want to teach them some digital citizenship skills. And you want to go over the expectations for discussions before you start. Is it true? Is it helpful? Right? Run down your list of expectations of what you expect. But here's the other cool thing about that. Yes, you can enable grading on this. Okay. However, the even cooler thing that I love about discussions is that you can enable moderation. Oops, it wants me to add a category. Sorry about that. Okay. So we can enable moderation on our discussions. So let me show you how to do that really quickly. You need to go to Course Options, and then you're going to go to Edit Privacy Course Settings. And then you're going to click on the Moderate tab. So you're going to select Enable Moderation, and then you're going to click this Enable button. What that does is every time a student posts on the discussion board, you'll get a notification that a student has posted, and then you'll be able to either approve or deny it, right? So not only are we working on our digital citizenship skills, but you've got a level of control with discussions in Schoology where you don't have to be nervous about what if a student posts this, right? Okay. So let's go back to our course and take a look at what else we might want to add here. Okay. So the other materials that you can add are pages and media albums. So adding a page is good for just adding content. And I do have to tell you that Schoology has been getting better about their accessibility settings. So I think this is really important. If you copy and paste text into a page, that's information that you want your students to read, The cool thing about that is that Schoology has immersive reader set up. So for example, I copy and paste some content here and I click create. I'm going to view the course as one of my students. Oops, I should have published that first. She can't see that just yet. Let me publish this real quick. Publish. And then I'm going to view the course as one of my students. And when she goes to that page, she now has the immersive reader option. So the immersive reader is going to show the text that is being read, is going to give text size options, font options, theme options. They can then highlight their parts of speech. They can also change the language. They can turn on the picture dictionary. They can do line focus. So there's a lot of options to help struggling readers, our, English second language learners, all of that, okay? The next thing I want to point out is updates. So when you click on the updates page, you'll notice that you are just seeing things that the instructor has posted. So this is a great place for teachers to say, hey, reminder class, you have an exam tomorrow. Here's a link to a quizzes that can help you review. And we have quizzes as well. So quizzes is great for students to review. You could give them that link. And now those students who have Schoology installed on their phone, they will get that notification right to their cell phone. They'll be able to click on that link, play that game right from their cell phone. And now you've helped them prepare for their exam. So that's what updates is mostly for. You will notice that you do have the bell ringer icon option. That keeps your update posted at the top. That is how I keep my banner posted at the very top, okay? Your grade book, we already discussed. You will need to do a grade book setup. What's important about this is that you have all of your categories lined up. So you'll need to add your categories, and then you'll need to make sure that they match the categories that you have in PowerSchool. So if you're planning on doing your grading in Schoology and syncing it with PowerSchool, please do not hesitate to reach out so I can share some step-by-step information on that. You also have the Mastery tab. So if you decide to add learning objectives aligned to the course, you can track those. The other tab you have is badges. Some students do find this motivating. We use this a lot with our DVA courses. The nice thing about badges is that when the student leaves your course, they keep their badges. So that's kind of something cool that stays with their profile. That's where students find their badges, okay? You can keep track of attendance in Schoology if you want. So you have that attendance tab. You also can take a look at your members. The important part about the members page is the parent access codes. So if you have a student who's struggling with work completion, I highly recommend coming to the members tab, clicking on parent access codes. It's going to give you a spreadsheet of codes that you will need to give to the parents. And then when the parents join, it's only going to show them the information that pertains to their child, okay? You also have analytics and workload planning. So these two tabs are meant to give you more of an overview of what's going on in your course, what your students are doing, what they're how often they're participating, how often they're logging in. And then you also have the workload planning, which is great for knowing if you're putting all of your assignments and exams and things in Schoology and all of your students' other teachers are doing the same thing. This gives you that bird's eye view that can let you know, hey, Friday's not a great day for the test because your students already have 2 other exams that have been scheduled for Friday, for example, okay? All right, so that's courses. Let's talk about groups really quickly. Groups are slightly different in that you don't have the option to add quite as much to a group. And they're really meant for sharing, quick sharing information. They're mostly where you see updates posted. So you'll see me post a lot of things to my How to Tech group, and just know that I post these things to share information. If you want to learn more about them, you're welcome to comment on the post. You're welcome to click on them, but don't feel like you have to keep up with every single one that I post, okay? You can also do discussions. You can house albums, and you can share resources in a group as well. In resources, this is where you want to keep your materials that you're thinking, I'm going to want to use these from year to year. For example, you may want to organize quizzes. You can see my, the book that I used to have my students read, and I have all of my quizzes organized in here so that I can pull these in quickly and add them to courses. So the way that they're organized here is I can click on this settings wheel, and then I can either edit these, I can add these to a course, I can copy them and adjust them if I need to. But you can also create groups in here with your department or with your grade level. And this is a good place to keep your resources organized and also share them with other people. The other thing that's really important to know about Schoology is that a lot of students prefer to message their teachers, to communicate with their teachers through the messages. So you will get emails saying a student has sent you, it'll have their name, has sent you a message in Schoology. You'll be able to click on it. It'll take you right here, and you'll see all of your messages, and you can have back and forth conversations with students. Students cannot message other students in Schoology. That's good for you to know. You also have your notification tabs up here, or requests. You might get a request to join a group. For example, I've been asked to join the DIS reading team, so I'm going to join that. And then also the other thing that's important is adjusting your notifications. So under your picture and name, you're going to want to click your profile, and you're going to want to click on settings. So once you click on settings, you have all these tabs. Notifications is important because if you want to be getting text updates or email updates, or you don't want to be getting text or email updates, you're going to want to come in here and adjust these settings. Okay. All right. So that covers the basics of Schoology. If you have any questions, if you would like to go more in depth with me about something specific, please do not hesitate to reach out. I am your tech coach. This is what I'm here to do, and I'm happy to provide you with information in a way that works for you. So let's say you want to know more about a specific feature of Schoology and you would just like me to record a short video and send it to you. I can do that. If you would like to have a one-on-one meeting where I come to your classroom and show you, we can also do that. I'm here to help. So please do not hesitate to reach out.